Hey y'all, I'm back again. I asked a question on my Instagram and I got a lot more responses than I thought I would. So I decided that I would start a mini series here on my YouTube channel. The question that I asked was if you could tell a newbie fish keeper one thing, what would it be? And I got a lot of responses. And I'm still getting some. But one of the first responses I got was from the Aquarium Show, and you should definitely follow them on Instagram because they post some beautiful pictures of fishies and shrimp. And the one thing that they said was that this hobby is a lot of learning and putting effort. But at the end, you will get results, and you'll be proud that you listened and learned from others. Be patient and always know that this community is happy to help. This community is amazing with so much passion and positivity, so if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. That is very true. When I first started Instagram, I didn't realize how nice people were. They were just so welcoming, and they love the hobby. And when I had issues with Bernard, the goldfish that passed away in March from swim bladder, they were so nice and so helpful with me because when I decided that I was going to put him down, that he was just suffering too much, they were so respectful and they understood. You know, some of them had to do it before, and it's not something that you want to do, but he was too far gone for me to help, and keeping him alive was, in my opinion, it just wasn't right to me. It wasn't humane to do. And they were so helpful in that time. It was a very hard day for me, and they were very understanding, and I thank all of them for that. Even though I have had fish for 18 years, I still have questions, and there's some things that I don't know. And, no fish keeper knows everything about fish, and even though people think that you know quite a bit, you'll never know everything there is to know. That's just not going to happen. And I also joined the Goldfish Community Forum, which you can find online. They are very, very helpful, experienced fish keepers, especially with goldfish. And they helped me a lot, especially with the tank behind me there. When it was cycling, I was having issues with it, and I wasn't sure if I should be alarmed or if it was just kind of part of it and it was just being a difficult tank. But they helped me a lot, and if you have a question, ask, because more than likely somebody has done it before and they can tell you how to deal with it. The next one I got was from the Cow and the Moon. They have some gorgeous goldies, and they said that you get as much out of it as you put in. Goldfish can be so much more than just a fish if you allow them to be. I thought that was amazing, and I couldn't put that any better than they did, because a lot of people want to just throw a goldfish in a bowl and say, look, it's there. And especially with, little kids that get their first pet, it's usually, a goldfish. And they're like, hey, you can look at it, but don't touch it. And that's it. And that hurts me emotionally, because they can be so much more than just to stare at. Like, you have to take care of them. You can't just throw them in something and say, there you are. Hope you enjoy your life in there, and never fool with them again. You can't. And I think they're one of the most misunderstood animals out there. They're like the number one pet in America, and yet nobody knows anything about them. It's crazy. And when you have goldfish, especially me. I am super attached to them. And any animal is going to, any living thing for that matter, is going to die. And you have to be prepared for that. But if you take good care of them, they will live a long, long time. I mean, Johnny, my first goldfish, he lived almost 14 years. That's crazy. And it's not uncommon if you take care of them. So, all my babies right now, they'll have personalities. People that say that they don't obviously don't pay attention. Because all you have to do is sit down in front of your tank and watch them for a little while. And you'll see. Knight, my big Aranda, he's probably got the biggest personality of all my goldfish. We have a love-hate relationship, usually. When I got him, he was a big bully. And I had to put him in goldfish timeout a lot because he was just so pushy and he wanted to be the alpha male, and that's his thing, It's just, he's very dominant and it bothers me sometimes. But he always wanted to push around Black Beauty, and that bothered me with her. She's my special needs goldfish and she can't see, and she was a rescue, and I'm not gonna let him do that. And I tried my best to keep him away from her, and you can't, I just had to move her. That was the end of that. Once I did, he's fine, but he's still very dominant, and he lets them know that. Josephine is my oldest goldfish right now. She's in there with him. They're good friends. She has quite the personality. She knows when it's feeding time. She loves to come up to my hand during that time. She'll follow you around the tank if you're anywhere near her. Lucy is my baby Roken. She is very shy. She's not super into the other fish. She just kind of likes to hang out by herself, and that's cool too. Comet is another one of my special needs. He's missing a fin, but he is very spunky and he loves to chase, and he loves to play tag with the other fish. I mean, he will zip around there and want them to catch him, and it's hilarious. The butterflies are very calm, and Queenie, my red and white, she loves to kiss my hand. Anytime I have my hand in the water for any reason, she will always come up to me. And JoJo, the red and black, she's one of the first ones to eat. She loves to eat. That's her personality. They all have personalities, and I could go on for days about all of them, but I obviously don't have time to do that right now. But they can definitely be more than a fish in water. And you just have to take the time to get to know them, just like anybody else. And they're my babies, and I don't care to tell people that. The next response I got was from Jappy's Fishies, and I love this user. That they've been kind of a follower with me since the beginning, and they're so nice, and you'll be seeing a lot more of them on my account very, very soon. Can't tell you why yet, but you will. They said, water is everything. The more of it, the better, and the cleaner, the better. Everything else will follow. Water is a touchy subject. You're in fish keeping. A lot of newbies think that you can fill the tank up and replace the water that evaporates and be done. And no, no. That is not the case. Water is very important. If you go into a pet store and you're looking to buy some fish, and you go back there to the tanks and the water's dirty, and you ask them if they do water changes, and they'll say, well, maybe once a month, or when we get a new shipment, or maybe there's dead fish floating in the water. Would you buy a fish from them? Hopefully not. I know that I would turn around and walk right back out and probably tell them what's on my mind in the process. But your water is that's what they live in. They can't live without water. And they they thrive in it, and if it's clean and you keep up with it. The aquarium behind me is still in cycling. It's almost done, but it's not quite there yet. I've been doing daily water changes on that, for 6 weeks, every single day, 70 to 80% of the water every day. And you have to commit to that when you get fish because they have to have clean water, and there's no way of getting around that. And when it's cycled, I mean, the tank that I had first that has, Night and Josephine and all those, it's cycled and I don't have any ammonia. I don't have nitrite. I got nothing. That's a cycled tank. I usually just do a weekly water change on it, and they do fine. Usually it's like 70% a week about it. And then I clean the filters pretty good. Just kind of rinse the media and get all the junk out. But as far as that goes, your water is the livelihood of your fish, and the more that you change the water, the better your fish will do. And that's like the number one rule of fish keeping, for me, is you keep up with your water, then your fish are going to do so much better. And the number one thing that I watch for in my fish is if they start acting off, or maybe they're not eating as much as they do, or just something odd in general is happening to them. They're not their self. The first thing I do is a water change. You can bet money on it. I'm not going to dose them with medication. I'm not going to do anything for that matter except change the water first, because you'll be amazed at how many things that fixes. I mean, a lot of people see a white spot on a fish and go, oh God, that's ick. Not always. Sometimes, especially with my babies, I have white gravel, and sometimes they like to roll around in it. They don't roll around literally, but they'll go by it, and sometimes the little fragments will get caught on their fin. Do not have a meltdown. I usually pick them up and check it out, and usually it just goes away. And that's just part of it. And a lot of people will immediately run and get medication. Don't do it. Change your water, check your fish. That is my rule of thumb for you. Okie dokie. Next. I have to keep refreshing my Instagram because there's a ton of people trying to comment. It's from Strawberry Goldies. She has some really cute fish, and also cats, if you want to check her out. She says that her big thing was how much space a fish actually needs. And some other people mentioned about stalking as well. I don't know how to say it. I think it's Micaiah123. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. They said, to not overstock your tank. And stalking is also another issue with fish keeping, is you can't there's no like real answer, I guess. And a lot of people, you'll hear 1 goldfish per 20 gallons of water. And then somewhere else you'll hear 20 gallons for the first fish and 10 gallons for every fish after. And then sometimes you'll hear one goldfish per 15 gallons. And there's just like, I mean, there's hundreds of these things. And I don't think there's really no real stocking rule for me. And I guess with the 60-gallon tank, with the first one, it has 4 goldfish in it. And some people would say that's too much. Some people might say it's not enough. It just depends on you. However, overstocking is a big issue. You don't want to put 10 or 15 goldfish in a 60-gallon tank. You can't. It's not going to work. It's going to cause a big, probably, outbreak of diseases, and they're going to probably be stunted, and it's going to be a long issue. And probably your water parameters are going to go crazy. So with them, I know how much to feed them, and I know how their waste accumulates. I've had them long enough to know. I know that if I change, 70 or 80% of their water a week, they'll be fine. And I can check their water any day of the week, and I will always have 0 ammonia, 0 nitrate, 0 nitrite. I know that. And that works well for them. Even when Black Beauty was in there, I mean, there was 5 fish in there. That was more of an accident than anything, but when she was in there, I still got the same readings, and they were fine. And a lot of people don't like that, and it just depends on who you ask. This aquarium had the 3 butterflies and the black moor. It had 4 as well, and they were fine, and cycling was going well. And then when night, started attacking Beauty, I had to move her somewhere. And sometimes you're going to have emergencies like that you can't always plan for. I didn't have a backup tank. I'm, already tanked out, as my mother says. I don't have anywhere else to put a tank yet. That might be in the works. But I have a 30-gallon storage tub that I put them in sometimes if I'm doing a real big clean on the aquarium. If I'm changing gravel or something, they go in. I didn't want to keep her in that all the time. That's no life. I mean, and she'd be by herself, and that was just silly. I didn't want to do that. So I put her over here because that's the only place I had. And, it really didn't change anything. I mean, my ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, pH, everything stayed as it was before she was put in there. So it really didn't do anything. I have to change the water every day right now anyway, so it's not a big deal. And plus, she is so much happier in there. She has so much more of a personality being in there. She's like mama fish for them. And I wouldn't put her back in this aquarium for nothing. I wouldn't do it because he is just so mean. He is my stubborn alpha. He's mean. I don't even know how to explain that to him. He's mean. But he's doing better now. Since she was moved, he doesn't do that anymore. So, anyway, I'm gonna check and see if I have any more issues. I don't think anybody else has commented since the last time. Nope, that's all for right now. So that is vlog number 1 in this series. And when I get more responses, there'll be another video up. And hopefully, I plan, if there's one thing that you guys want me to do a video on itself, like if you want a video about water quality, if you want a video about stocking standards, then I'll do it. You just have to tell me. What do you want to see? What can I help you with? That's what I'm here for. So, check out my Instagram if you haven't already. Make sure you follow it because there'll be probably some giveaways, and you can be involved with the channel as well. And I will see y'all next time.